become known worldwide for buses, in addition to having great trains and a great subway system. I don't know if any of you are aware that New York City's been quietly rolling out bus rapid transit. And not the bus rapid transit that sometimes gets discussed out in Los Angeles, completely different animals. Actually, you see a smiling bus rider there on the left, because she's riding new, faster service in the Bronx. New York's cut a lot of time down. What you see on the right is an image in Brooklyn, and really what they're doing is they're using bus as streetcar, as a lighter, rubber-wheel, cost-effective way to basically create surface transportation, which can be bus or tram or streetcar, trolley, all of those things fit. Now, a few weeks ago, some of you may have seen in the papers that New York has actually rolled out another plan to take 34th Street and place a pedestrian plaza in the center near Herald Square and then run buses in each direction towards the river in a shared space concept, a shared space where pedestrians, bicyclists, buses, and in some cases other motor vehicles will mix. Pretty bold. Let's go to another city, Paris. You know, it's romanticized about the metro. You know, probably the greatest rail systems in the world. But Paris also has the Mobillon, which is their version of bus rapid transit. Now, again, it's not the American version of bus rapid transit. And what they've basically done is tinker with where stations are, the speed and the efficiency of service. They also paid attention to making sure they have big windows, glazed bus shelters, so you can see the street life, and the street life can see you. It's very Parisian. They also share the space. They share bus lanes with bikes. They've actually found that the speeds of those two modes of transit are incredibly compatible with one another. Portland is known in the U.S. as being the greatest light rail and streetcar city, at least if you're on the West Coast, but people don't realize is that before it was a great city of streetcars and light rail, it was a great city of buses. And in fact, the buses are essential to making light rail and trolley and streetcar work in Portland because they have to feed in. It's a complete holistic surface transportation system that works in an integrated manner. Vancouver has been called the most urbane place in North America, the city of buses. Lower left, Chattanooga, there's their little electric bus. It's actually a huge part of their tourism draw in the downtown. They want people to go back and talk about the clean, green-sounding things that buzz around their streets. On the right, Denver, there's a pedestrian mall, the 16th Street Mall, shared with buses. Wait a second. It's a bus that doesn't pollute, smell, because it's alternative fuel. It's quiet. It mixes with the pedestrian environment. If you look at some other college towns, we actually see Palo Alto has solar panel bus shelters. There's bus rapid transit in Berkeley. Chapel Hill has free buses throughout the center of town and really great real-time information systems up there in the upper right called the Next Bus system. And in Ann Arbor, they're beginning right now a new community-wide and county-wide transit planning initiative, and a big focus is on their aging baby boomer population, because they realize that they're going to need a way to move around, if they're going to stay in town, if they're going to age in place. Boston. Again, we think about it as a rail city, and of course they did something magnificent. They took the elevated expressway, buried it, created the Rose Kennedy Park right through the middle of the city, under which runs, as part, buses, bus rapid transit. I was disappointed a few years ago when they told me from one of the stations I had to take bus rapid transit to the airport, but it's actually what they found more efficient. They have the Silver Line in Boston, which again is a streetcar-like bus system, but this is a place that, again, is looking a little more holistically at issues. And of course, if we cross the Charles River and go up to Harvard Square, we see one of the first American experiments in what's called shared space. You're running a little short, so we didn't show the clip at the beginning, but taking the surface treatment of the street and texturing it, blurring it with the sidewalks, with the plaza and the public space near it in such a way that the street really becomes a public space that cars go through versus a street. Think about if at the top of Palmer Square, a treatment like this was extended across Nassau Street. Ask yourself, do those white, pink, and yellow lines and all of that stuff that the engineers have told us make us safe really make us safe? And of course, Princeton does have a world-class example of how to integrate transit. This is Commerce Square. And what's great about this is that it's a very light integration of a bus location, but it's in a people place. It's in a shared space that people use, walking, hiking, cars use it, buses use it. Very, very well done. And this world-class example is one of the models that the studio has used to look at other places in town, because we think that this actually works quite well, and it moves people, makes places, shares spaces. That's the theme of this study. Okay, so with that all said, this morning we want to invite you right now to put on your vision caps, to use your imagination. We want to ask, what if? What if there were choices for accessibility for everyone who lives in the region? People that ride the dinky, but people that never ride the dinky. People who have no choice but to drive everywhere because there's no transit near where they live. People who ride the bus today. People who are too old or too young to drive. And out of this, perhaps a more informed discussion will take place on what you are about to see. Finish our little ride out here, ending at the junction, and then we're going to take you to the future, and we're going to ask your permission to dream a little bit, to think about what might happen if, yes, these people would actually be part of something a little bit different. All right, 10 years from now, the year 2020, we've landed at Princeton Junction, and we find that the dinky has been expanded and extended throughout the region, and it's actually transformed our region. There are dinkies that go everywhere. It's no longer just out to the junction. There are dinkies that go across West Windsor out to East Windsor and end at Hightstown. There are dinkies that go up through Plainsboro, stop at the new Princeton Healthcare Center off of Route 1 and up to South Brunswick. Dinkies down to Lawrence and Quaker Bridge. Dinkies through Princeton up to Kingston and Kendall Park. Dinkies across Princeton out to Montgomery. The new dinkies are fashioned on sharp European designs. They function as true BRT in some places like Route 1, where they actually can go fast. But